If you're doing anything in online business or especially dropshipping, then you have to know how to set your goals properly so you can hit them. I'm very good at hitting my goals. I've hit my goals for a very long time now. And the only reason I'm able to do so is because I prepare a lot. Now, I shared an insanely valuable video with my mentorship clients more than a month ago, which talks about how you can set goals effectively in dropshipping, how to then work on those goals effectively so you too can always hit your goals and buy materialistic shit like this. I was not gonna share this video for free at first because it is extremely valuable. It's 30 minutes long and there's value in every second of it. So if you have major ADHD, then take a Ritalin now. I also suggest you watch this video at 1.2 speed and take some notes because there is not going to be any fancy editing. It is a raw 30-minute video on how I work and how I achieve every single goal that I set and how you can do exactly the same. So enjoy this video. Alright guys, this is not gonna be an unimportant video. This is actually a video that I should have made way earlier because I underestimate the power of stuff like this. For me, all of this comes natural because I've been doing business, online business for 5 years now. So 5 years I've been optimizing myself, optimizing how I work and how I work effectively and as efficiently as possible. So in this video, as you can see, I'm gonna go over how to achieve your goals and work effectively. We're going to talk about how to set goals and how I literally put in the work. You'll see exactly what I do right now and how I schedule my work week, how I execute my tasks, how you can visualize your goals and the importance of it. And this is all exactly what I do and how I achieve my goals time and time again. And let's just dive into it. So first of all, setting goals is extremely important because otherwise you're running around like a headless chicken and you're just doing whatever you think you're supposed to do. Now you have the mentorship course, you have kind of the basic knowledge of what you should do to build a successful dropshipping business, but you always need an aiming point and not just 1 week ahead, not just 1 month ahead, not just a quarter ahead, but years ahead. I literally set my goals for 10 years into the future and you'll see exactly how and what my goals are in a minute. But this is highly suggested. You should absolutely do the same. And let's just start with showing you how I do it and what my goals kind of look like. As you can see, I have this Miro board right here. This is super nice. This app, you can do anything in it. Most of you guys probably already know it, but you should always start by setting your goals. I created this. So what I'm about to show you right here, this section, I created in the beginning of the year. So I created this in January of 2024 when the year started. Now, you do not have to wait until January 2025 to start creating this shit. Do it right now. I don't have a template for this. A child could create this in the Miro board. So let me just go over it right here. As you can see, my profit goal for the year is 3 mil. I have multiple projects. I excluded the profits of the coaching program, which is also a business I'm working on very intensely, but I don't want to show you guys the month by month profit breakdown of that business for obvious reasons. But I have a US store and I have EU dropshipping, and as you can see, these are the profit goals month by month, and it is extremely important to set them and also to tie them to materialistic outcomes. So as you can see, the euros was a goal of mine. I wanted to buy it in March or in April. But I already was able to do so in January because I achieved over this goal. And as you can see, this can be anything. So this doesn't have to be extremely expensive materialistic shit. This can literally be new Apple headphones, new MacBook, new chair. I started with goals like these 5 years ago too. So I'm just trying to show you what it looks like, but obviously your goals are supposed to look different as well as your materialistic rewards. Now, it is super important to set materialistic rewards, otherwise you're working for nothing. The more you can visualize your goals, the easier they will become to achieve them because you literally have a picture in your brain of what you're working towards. And I never set materialistic goals before this, so I did create like vision boards from time to time, but these were extremely vague with like me sitting in a jet or in a crazy apartment or traveling or whatever. But since this year only, I've started, or actually since last year, I started like really putting in materialistic goals like Rolexes, cars, and stuff like that. And this skyrocketed my business. So as you can see, One goal has already been crossed off because I reached it. And another goal right here, for example, is to buy a car for my sister. Now, I did hit this goal. I asked my sister, but she doesn't have a driving license yet. So first thing is a driving license, of course. Then this right here is a kitchen renovation for my mom that I want to get her for her birthday. And this is coming up very soon. And then at the end of the year, I'm looking to buy another Rolex. Other than that, I don't need any more crazy materialistic shit. Again, for you, this should look entirely different, but it is highly important to set it. Otherwise, you're working towards nothing. So break down your profit goals, be bold. Don't set goals that are too low, but also don't set insanely high goals. I remember when I first started with dropshipping, the first year, I didn't know anything yet about dropshipping and business. I started in the Wild West. I had no courses, no mentorships, nothing. And I set a goal of making 1 million profit in the first year, which was kind of crazy. Like it was way too big of a goal. In your first year, I've seen people do it. And especially you right now, you're watching this, you're inside the mentorship. So you have a crazy head start towards achieving crazy goals. I've seen people hit their first $1 million profit in their first year of dropshipping, but it is extremely unique. And what we're going to talk about, like habits forming and stuff like that, and how you can actually achieve your goals effectively in a later part of the video. Step number 1 is to set your goals. So do so right now. Create a Miro sheet like this and write down your profit goals per project. So for you, if you have multiple projects running right now, I highly suggest you cut out all other projects. We've never combined anything else. So anyone who is not consistently running big numbers with dropshipping, who I've seen try to combine other shit as well, like a US brand or like, for example, an agency or like just a secondary business, whatever it is, usually it's not going to work whatsoever. It is extremely hard to combine. You need to become an expert first in dropshipping, and then in a couple of years, maybe you can start combining other stuff if you have a lot of leverage. So this US project, the only thing I do for input in this project is 1 call or 2 calls per week. So 2 meetings per week, 2 hours per week is my full input in this project because I have people running it. I have an operator and I have Doreen, my partner, who is also operating. So she's CEO of this project. Her brother is kind of like CMO, Chief Marketing. And that is why I'm able to combine this. Otherwise, I would never suggest you combine stuff whatsoever. Do not combine different projects. Focus on EU funnel dropshipping until you're at least 100K profit months. And that is my honest advice. Otherwise, you're just going to make it harder on yourself. And don't lose track of your goals. And anytime you write down a task for yourself, I'm also going to talk about how to write the correct tasks for yourself. But anytime you write a task, look at your goals first. Is this going to help you achieve your goal faster? If yes, good. If not, eliminate the task because you're doing something that is unrelatable to the goal. Now, if we scroll down, these are the yearly goals. As you can see, this is for this year, 2024. But I also wrote down vaguely my 10-year plan, purely profit-wise and materialistic-wise, as you can see. Here you can see the projected, or not the projected, but the goals I want to hit with the coaching as well. I don't give a fuck. And as you can see, materialistic rewards tied to my profit goals too. And yeah, 100 mil net worth at 30. I'm 100% sure I will achieve this. This is a very likely outcome. But the plan is still vague, as you can see. I just have these projects, but it is as specific as possible. Moving on to how to actually set tasks then. So you should set monthly KPIs / monthly tasks in that same sheet as well. So this is an example. These are 2 examples, actually. Let me make my camera a little bit smaller, of to-do lists for the month of July. So this is my actual to-do list for dropshipping. I obviously also have a to-do list for the US brand and for the coaching, because I mainly focus on the coaching right now. Dropshipping is, let's say, 30% of my time, and then the US brand is like 5% of my time. So I do also have dropshipping goals and coaching goals that look differently than these, but this is what it should look like for you. Let's just focus on dropshipping. And as you can see, I set this each month. So in the beginning of the month, I look at my profits and my revenue of the previous month. For example, if my previous month profit was 100K and this month I want to do 200K, all right, let me break down what did I do wrong, what is already in place, and what needs to change to hit this goal. And this is what I think needs to change. So this month I need to order 7 new companies. So I have more backup processors because we lost a few processors last month. We don't have enough processors right now whatsoever. I think right now, as I'm speaking, I only have 2 active Stripe accounts, which is completely fucked because to hit 200K profit months, you need at least 1 per market and 1 backup per market. So if I want to be active in 4 markets, which is the goal, right now I'm only active in Germany and the Netherlands, and I want to be active in 4, France and Sweden as well. I need 8 in total processors. So I ordered 7 new companies. I want these companies to be ready by the end of June. I want to also launch in France and Sweden. I want a winner optimization system. So my winners are gonna milk out more revenue and more profits. I want to organize my fresh desk for dispute management because if I'm going to do big numbers in Sweden and in France and Germany as well, these are chargebackable markets with a lot of disputes. You need to manage these very, very effectively. Otherwise, you're going to lose your payment processing. So in my case, my task for the month is to also organize my fresh desk. And I also need to hire a new copywriter for the winner optimization. I want my COO to start doing media buying. And I want to start testing 5 products per day per market. Right now, we're testing 4 per day per market. So I want to test 5 per day per market. Now, what's needed to test 5 per day per market? A new funnel builder and a new video editor. Here's an example of a more realistic to-do list for someone who is in a mentorship. For example, 25K in profit for July. What you would need to do, for example, is you would need to hire a new funnel builder, hire a new video editor, set KPIs and track those KPIs in a sheet. If you want to know exactly how to do that, I talked about this a couple group calls ago. I need to test 2 per day in Netherlands, for example. I would also need to add a secondary market. Germany is always a secondary market I highly recommend, or Sweden, depending on what you can do with the payment processing and the companies that you have. To add Germany, usually you would need to order a new company. So you can set up a PayPal account, and so you can set up a second Stripe account. You would also need to set up Trackypel with your PayPal account. You would start to need testing at least 1 product per day in Germany. And then you would also want to hire probably a Facebook manager. So your entire Facebook setup is managed and you do not have to waste your time on it yourself. So this is an example of what you could potentially have as a task list in July to hit 25K profit. That's it for this sheet. I look at this sheet every other day at least. So once you have your task list, it is extremely important you plan your tasks in your Google Calendar. So I work with a Google Calendar. As you can see, I hope I'm not sharing too much sensitive shit, probably not. But let me put it right here. As you can see, I follow my Google Calendar super, super strictly. So right now, because I know in August I have a lot of family coming over. Right now it's July as I'm recording this. In August I have a lot of family over, so I'm working a lot more than regularly. As you can see, I'm waking up at 6. I'm starting to work at 7, and I go to sleep at 10. So very, very disciplined because I know in August I'm not going to be able to work so much. Now, for you, this calendar should be like this at least for the first 3 to 6 months of your business career. You want to work a lot. I'm also going to talk about how you can manage this if you have a job, if you need to combine this with a job. But let me just click on one of these deep work blocks. So first of all, you can just click on create, add a block, set it to a color, click or set it to repeat every single day. And you can very easily set your calendar up like this. I do not need to create a video on how to do exactly that. But each Sunday evening, I look at my Miro board. I look at, okay, what were the goals again for this month that are tied to this profit goals, to this profit goal. All right, these are the goals. Let me now see what of these tasks I can accomplish and do this week. Then on Sunday, I write the goal list of my entire week. I try to at least. Sometimes I just do it the day before. Mostly I do it on Sundays. So let me click on one of these deep work blocks. So this is my entire task list for today. Write 1 tweet, prep the course fit, which is what I'm doing right now, record it, edit it, and upload it, make a post on school. This shit is all for the mentorship, of course. But then later in the day, I'm gonna do 2 hours of dropship management or dropship pushing the ball forwards, which is going to be winner optimization system and cleaning up my Freshdesk and make an SOP for my customer service VA so they can work more effectively in Freshdesk, because right now it's all a big mess. There's no tags, there's no dispute management. It is all just all the emails of all the stores are right now in my Freshdesk, and it is a massive clutter. And obviously, if I want to hit this goal and if I want to scale more in markets like France and Sweden, this Freshdesk shit has to be cleaned up. And then in the afternoon, I have calls, as you can see, with you guys. Now, do this, set your calendar, extremely, extremely important. It is highly important that you do not set your goals or your tasks, the day that you're supposed to work on them. Because, for example, if I wake up and I go to my desk and this is empty and I have to think of what I'm going to do today, you're automatically going to be way lazier, because the work that you have to put in for these tasks is right now. So it is not tomorrow, it is right now. So you feel lazier. And this is all subconsciously, you're going to put in tasks that are easy to do. You're going to put in tasks that you're going to avoid tasks that are like harder to do and more stressful to do. And you're going to be procrastinating. So always do your task planning the day before, better yet, the Sunday before. All right. So for me, I do it the day before right now because of the mentorship and the dropshipping and the US brand. I have to combine everything together. So it is a little bit more hectic than it is going to look like for you. But make sure you have a calendar and you do not have to think about when you're going to start working. So I wake up, I open my computer, I go to Google Calendar, I click on this shit, and I know exactly what I have to do. Now, as you can see, what I also write down next to each task is the amount of time that I want it to take. And this is also super important because sometimes you have tasks that take longer than expected or that are shorter than expected. And if a task, for example, is shorter than expected, you quickly want to be able to move on to the next task. So you also have to plan what timing it'll take, and you have to track your time. So don't track it with like Time Doctor or whatever. You can do that as well. But I just use this. So pomofocus.io. For example, you can set it to 20 minutes. I just finished a task that was 20 minutes, which was preparing this video. And if you want to start a timer, you just click on start, boom. Then you start working on that task. And then this is in the top of your browser. You see how much time you still have left. And this also makes it so you're not slacking or being slow on a task. Super important as well, for me at least. Now, as you can see, I work a lot, but my entire Saturday is always just empty because on Saturday I do nothing of work. Maybe I usually start the day with like 1 to 2 hours of work at most. So checking Slack, checking my team, checking Discord, making sure that everything is running properly. But then for the rest of the day, I don't do anything. I go usually to Lisbon, I get a massage, whatever. You should do the same. You should have some kind of work-life balance if you can. If you have a job, then you cannot afford work-life balance at all. So the only people who have a job in the mentorship and who are able to make sick profits are the people who are sacrificing all the free time. So don't be a pussy. This is just the only thing to make it work. You chose for a job. You fucked up on that decision early on. Now you have to pay for it with just a couple months of sacrifice. This is not permanent whatsoever. This is super, super temporary. So yeah, the people, again, that combine this with a job, your calendar is going to look differently. You're probably going to have this filled in with your job. And then maybe at night, you only have this time block right here to work on your dropshipping stores. Even if you only have this, you still have to plan. Even more important to then plan and to set your tasks the day before, because you need more structure even. And your time block, if you have a job, should look like this, all right? It shouldn't look like this. As you can see, 1.5 hours. It should be the 3 hours that you have left. And then after you're done, you go to bed right away. And then maybe you wake up a little bit earlier, even in the morning, and you can work like 30 minutes to 1 hour on a task as well. but this is absolutely what you have to do. And in the weekends, there is no life balance for you. You chose for it. This is the sacrifice that you have to make. Now, if you do this for 3 months and you actually do this, you actually are super structured in your work and you have a job and you only put in like 3 to 4 hours per day of work and you put in the entire weekends, you will 100% hit 1K profit days, 100% after 2 to 3 months. It's this, like if you follow this to a T, this is 100% going to happen. And then you can slow down. So then you can start outsourcing very, very aggressively. People with a job should always outsource faster than people who don't have a job, because you have no other option and you need to be very careful with your time. But then you can slow down, you can start enjoying the weekend again. So if you have a job, it is temporary that you are sacrificing all the hours of the week. But it's fucking worth it because you're trying to escape the rat race and it is all worth it. The small sacrifice that you have to make in just 3 months. All right. It's not a year. It's not 2 years. It's not 5 years. It's just a couple months that you have to be extremely fucking disciplined until you're at that 1K per day profit. And then you can slow down a little bit. I suggest you still keep going, but this depends purely on your willpower and your like old habits that you have, how easy it's going to be. But then just keep going, but you can slow down a little bit and start enjoying the weekend again. And yeah, guys, let's see what else. So set goals, reverse engineer those goals. So set yearly goals, monthly goals, and also just your 10-year plan. For most beginner dropshippers, I wouldn't necessarily want to set a 10-year plan yet because you don't know if dropshipping is something you want to continue for 5 years or just 2 years. You also don't know yet what other business possibilities are out there. For example, in the beginning of my dropshipping career, I remember it was a hype to start dropshipping and then start a social media marketing agency. I think it was because of Iman Gadzhi pushing his bullshit online, but that turned out to not be a smart plan at all because you can't really scale a social media marketing agency very high whatsoever without putting in a lot of effort. So that was my goal, my 5-year goal or whatever, but that obviously changed to now scaling the US brand and exiting that. So just set your yearly goals at least, or your 2-year goals at least, because becoming an expert in dropshipping and making 6-figure profit months consistently takes years. You're not going to be able to do this in 1 year. It takes multiple years, depending on how fast you are. Again, some people can do it in just a year, depending on how often you buy new mentorships, depending on who you network with and how smart you are and how much work you put in. That is the number one reason why people are able to achieve that in a lot faster time. So plan your weeks and days in advance, set a schedule, wake up and execute on your tasks. I wake up and I don't have to think again. I just click on my Google Calendar and I see what I have to do and I just do it. Makes it easy. Then to execute your tasks, again, set a timer like this for each task and then just execute and make sure you are within the time that you set yourself to do it. Then for work-life balance, try to enjoy the weekend if you can. If you have a job, then there's no enjoy the weekend. You shouldn't even go out. You shouldn't see your friends. You should isolate yourself completely. People really think you can get away without sacrificing anything and become a multimillionaire and build a sick business. If you have a job, there's no other option to succeed other than to sacrifice all your free time. Sorry, but it's just for a couple months. So don't be a pussy. This is the only way you can get ahead of the competition. So I said this already. You have a job, 3 hours should be sacrificed. This is temporary, just for you to be able to escape the rat race. And for you to stay motivated, you should set these goals and then you can come back to them and then you don't forget why you're actually sacrificing so much. Now, visualizing your goals, again, super important. So again, this doesn't have to be all materialistic stuff. This can also be, for example, with this money, I'm going to start guitar lessons or whatever. This can be very tiny materialistic things. This doesn't have to be all materialistic, but set goals, set rewards tied to your goals. And then eliminate all the bullshit habits. So this is the most important one. And this is one that took me very, very long. The first year I was dropshipping. So I can now tell you this and I can now show you this because I didn't do this whatsoever. And I made the mistake of not doing this. So you can learn from my expensive mistakes. In the first year of dropshipping, I maybe was working 3 to 4 hours per day while I had all the free time in the world. So I got comfortable immediately as I saw some success. I was stuck at 15K profit for a super long time per month. I was gaming. I went to the gym. I had drinks at night. I went out. I lived in an apartment. Like with my first dropshipping profits, I moved out and I went living in an apartment with my girlfriend and with another friend. And we were just completely undisciplined. And because we could do it, we had the money to do so. And all of our friends and everyone around us in our social circle was broke as shit. And they were also going out, so we were also going out, but then as a rich people, which felt amazing. But this is extremely toxic. That is why now, if I had set stuff like this, like goals tied, or realistic goals tied to rewards, as well as a plan on how to actually achieve those goals, if I'd done this in the beginning, then I wouldn't have gone out, because I wouldn't have forgotten my goals. My goals are the number one priority now. So eliminate all bullshit habits. You probably have a lot of bullshit habits, like maybe it's drinking, maybe it's gaming, it's scrolling on social media. If you're scrolling on social media like this in the beginning, you are literally making yourself retarded. So you are retarded. It's 100% making you retarded. If you stop that, you will unlock a power that's insane. You will be able to work on tasks much easier. Finishing a task is going to give you a surge of dopamine. For example, when I finish a task and my timer goes off and I finish the task within the timer, because I'm not completely fucked because of TikTok, gaming, porn, Instagram reels, whatever it is, because I'm not fucked by those toxic things, I get dopamine when I finish a fucking task. You want to get to that level. Otherwise, it's not sustainable whatsoever. So in the beginning of my business career, I was super addicted to all kinds of shit, drinking, scrolling on social media, gaming. I tried to combine it, which made working super, super hard, because I was literally a retard. My dopamine receptors were all fucked up and all over the place, making working on a computer extremely boring and extremely hard. So anytime I would finish a task, even if it was a task of 20 minutes, I would do something else. Whew, now I have to check my Instagram again. Fuck. So that's crazy. You're literally making yourself, again, retarded by doing this. So eliminate all these bullshit habits. Jeff Bezos is not scrolling on Instagram. Elon Musk is not scrolling on Instagram. Your generation is, and it is normalized, but it is not. All right. There's an entire generation of retards out there. And these people will get older and they're going to be worthless in society. And that is going to be the competition in business. So if you eliminate these distractions, you have a massive competitive advantage, because even like the top players in business in our industry, let's say, still have these destructive habits. So when I check my Instagram and I see who watches my story, I see like a bunch of high level business guys. I thought like, aren't you supposed to not be on Instagram whatsoever? But they still do so. So if you can eliminate this habit, you will become unstoppable. And this is not an over exaggeration. This is extremely, extremely important. Like, that's why I'm ranting about it. You're not going to believe how much of a difference this will make in your willpower, because willpower is all based on your dopamine receptors and how fast you're drained. And if you are drained after just one 30-minute task and you have to check your phone for Instagram or YouTube or whatever your little normalized addiction may be, you have no chance in making it. It's because you're competing with me. We're in the same industry, in the same markets, testing the same products, and I don't have that problem anymore. I did have that for a very long time. Also, one last tip. If you even have Instagram at all, delete it. I have Instagram because I have a personal brand. If you use Instagram as a dating app, I can understand that, but try to really just not scroll around and do all that bullshit. If you have Instagram just to look at other people and you don't have a personal brand and you're not you're not single, you don't use Instagram as a dating app or whatever, those are the only two reasons I see that would allow you to use Instagram. If you don't have any of these two reasons, delete it. You do not need it. It's a massive distraction, all right? You can later on, if you actually achieve some success in business, recreate an Instagram, start sharing some of your results. That's highly recommended, because it allows you to connect with other people. But if you're not even at 50K profit months yet, you have nothing to share. You're still at the bottom of the barrel of dropshippers. So no one is going to want to connect with you if you just have a 50K profit month once. All right. So delete your Instagram, delete TikTok. TikTok, I don't even talk about TikTok because it's not even considered. I never had TikTok on my phone. I never scrolled on TikTok. I never used it because from the beginning I could see how insanely disruptive TikTok is. Delete that. Or you shouldn't even be in the mentorship if you have TikTok on your phone. So if you have it, delete it right now. And Instagram, I can see how you could use it for a personal brand or for socializing if you're single or whatever. Other than that, you shouldn't have the app. You can re-download it and reuse it effectively if you have some value to share later on in your business career. And that's going to allow you to network and to connect and to just have a small personal brand. It doesn't have to be like your full goal or your full focus. But before that, please delete it. And yeah, guys, I ranted a lot, but this is how to achieve your goals and work effectively. This is super important, having these work blocks in your calendar. For example, for you, this could look like build one funnel, proofread the funnel of my funnel builder, hire a funnel builder, whatever it is. Set massive, massive, massive goals. You're in this mentorship, so you have a big advantage. You're already doing the right strategy right now as we're speaking. So this will allow you to set big goals because, as you can see, these goals, EU dropshipping, these goals are based on the exact same strategy that you are doing right now. So you can mimic these goals, but then let's say 5 times smaller if you're a complete beginner. If you're already like doing 20K profit months, you can literally do the same goals because nothing's holding you back. If you have cash flow and you have knowledge, which you have because you're in the mentorship, you can speak with me every single day, you should be able to do the same goals. And maybe these goals for me even are way too small. I don't know. Let's just see. Anyways, if you have any follow-up question on this video, then please don't be afraid to ask. This is extremely important. This is probably the most important video in the entire course because this is the basis of your entire day, week, and life. So that's it.